So the most interesting thing just happened like a couple of days back, and honestly, I don't think you're going to believe it. So OpenClaude, which is literally a build off of Anthropic's Claude Code, just got even better. Now, if you don't know what OpenClaude is, it literally came out like a couple of months back, and everybody was raving about it. You can see this over here; it blew up really much. So ideally, what it did was you could install and use it primarily like Claude Code, but better, and you could set it up with local models or your personal API keys. Now, what is different this time is once you have it installed, it comes pre-installed with its own AI agent. Now, that AI agent is from Xiaomi, which is Mimo. You'll understand that in a second, but let's install it first if you haven't already. I have this linked in the description below, this GitHub link, so you can access it more easily. So once you copy the command, you just open up PowerShell like I have here and simply paste in the command at such and just click enter. Now what this is going to do is it's completely going to scaffold and install OpenClaude onto your local device. Now I've already gone through that process, so I'm not going to go through again. So once you have it installed, you just click and you just type in OpenClaude like this and click enter. Now this is going to open up OpenClaude just like you open up Claude Code, and you can start working from there. Now let me just maximize this so you have more space to work. So as you can see, the model that is set up with that I keep using is Claude Sonnet 4.6. Now what I mean by now you can access it without having to incur any cost or having to set up Olama or any local agents is, let me just click enter here. Yes, I trust this folder, and definitely yes again. Yeah, sure. So basically I'm going to change this model over here, and you understand why that is so in a minute. So let's just type slash provider like this and click enter. So it's loading up providers for a minute there, and you just click enter again to add provider. And what you can see here this time is from the number one spot is GitLab Open Gateway. Now this installs Xiaomi Mimo's AI agent, and literally you don't have to set it up with any of your own API keys or install any model from the ground up, right? So let me just click here and enter and just close this out of here. So Control C, just so we can start it up again, and we'll just type in OpenClaude and enter again. So this is going to open up OpenClaude again, and the difference this time is that you're seeing the model to be Mimo, which is different from the Sonnet that we were using before. So let's just quickly test it out for you guys to see that indeed I didn't set it up with any API key. I didn't have to install any Olama model locally whatsoever, and you can see the response is clear as daylight. So let me just type in something else. So I wanted to be able to create me a landing page for my YouTube channel, which is Skyrocketing Tech, right? So to create extra context on this, it's going to ask a couple of questions to be able to solicit and understand what your intent is. So I see there's already a landing page created earlier. Let me check its current state. So before I started up this tutorial, I had already tested it a bit. However, I had to delete it and restart it so I could film it this time around and have it shown to you guys. So ideally, the point is that you now have the capability to use OpenClaude right out of the box with its own AI model, which is this Mimo V2.5 Pro. And ideally, it's very competent. And as you can see, this prompt I have pasted here is very vague. I don't have any skill setup or any MCP whatsoever. So I'm expecting this to be very vague as well. I'm expecting like a dummy landing page or something just for you guys to be able to understand and wrap your mind around how it's going to be working from here on out. So once you have OpenClaude installed and you're working through your workspaces or whatever you're doing, you don't necessarily have to incur costs for every single step you do, and you don't most certainly do not have to waste any infrastructure by installing Olama models anymore. You could simply just use it right out of the box with this Mimo model that is already set it up inside OpenClaude for us. Now, this is taking quite a bit. I understand that because I'm expecting that this is an open source model, so it's going to take a bit of some time. However, you will get the response according to what you've asked. So I'm just going to give it a couple of seconds for it to finish it up, and then continue on with the tutorial. Okay, so it's generated the script for us, the code actually. So I'm just going to click enter, and as you can see, this is the HTML file. I can see we have a style sheet linked in here. So I'm hoping it's already set it up completely for us. Okay, so this is where it's at. So I'm going to open it up for you guys to see. This is the directory, and this is the file. Yeah, so as I was saying, I was expecting a very basic display of it. Okay, so this is not so bad. Actually, it's quite decent, but not up to the standard I would expect. But basically, the point is, you understand that now from just by installing OpenClaude, you don't have to set up any AI agents, any API keys. You just have to open it up and use it with Mimo by just selecting the provider. And one more thing before I wrap this up. As you can see, you can just do slash models over here like this and enter, and you can select out of all of these models whichever one that you would like to use. There's Gemini 3.1 Flash over here. Let me just send in a basic hi, and as you can see, it's going to simply send me the response even though I did not set up any API key, right? So the possibilities are literally endless here. So let me know some of the amazing things you're able to do with it, and be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I look forward to those comments. So see you in the next one.